and we are consciousness mentors and activators, motivational speakers, healers, and energy workers, to name a few, right? The labels are, just to kind of help make sense of it. And so this is really exciting. So we're going to start by talking to you guys about why we're doing this, right? Why we're doing these Sundays.
What's up, Carmen?
Why they matter to us. And we're also going to talk today about unconditional love. Right? So that's going to be kind of a part and a segue. Every Sunday, we're going to have a topic. We're going to have an issue. We are going to, ground into it. We're going to really look at them. And we're so excited.
Yeah, we thought Sundays would be cool just because, it's the beginning, right before the week, to really, something to think about all week, something to meditate on. We're always going to bring what's going on, collectively, energetically, so that just hearing that really is like beyond helpful, right? So when I was little, I went to church and I went through so many different things, but I remember at one point I really wanted to preach. I was like, I want to be a preacher. And I remember when I was in my 20s, I actually got to do some services where I got to preach and I loved it, right?
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, Nicole, like, baby, you're the church. Like, you're it. Your foundation, your body. Your body is everything. You house it all, right? And so what is a better way than to come here? What's our freedom to come before you and actually like do it and do it now and not wait, right? So we're so excited to be doing this with you. We love you guys so much. So let's dive in.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to, every time we meet, I want to ground us. The energies are, wow. This month, oh my God, the last 2 weeks. Yo, I literally it was 3 weeks ago, right? Tyra remembers that I wanted to preach, and I'm going to preach right now. Oh, baby. So I was telling Dov I'm so at peace with myself. And I was like, I'm feeling really grounded and great. I'm like, I'm coming into myself. And then all of a sudden, this wave of energy started coming through of unconditional love, the consciousness shifting, people are waking up, and all of a sudden, it was like, hey, Nicole, whatever's not aligned with you right now, whatever's underneath a rock, whatever you haven't looked at, maybe bills or maybe little issues that you've had in your life, anything that you start to shove under the rug, the universe was like, baby, we go open it up, and we're gonna just, surprise, here it is. And all of a sudden, it all came out, and it came out at once. And I began to suffer because I was trying to put, I was trying to shut the stories down because I thought I was like going backwards. I was like, what the hell is going on? Everything was going wrong. Yeah, I know, girl. Everything started going wrong. And it was like anything that I haven't put my attention on that needed to have its attention, it started to raise up. And so all of a sudden, everything's like, hey, you need to get all your ducks in a row. You need to, if you have your own business, you need to make sure that every little thing is looked at. The foundation is set, right? If you've been like not thinking about something and pushing it down and stuffing it, it's coming up now, right? So everyone's in this panic. And so I'm going to ask for this moment that we let go for a moment, that we lay down all of our woes, all of our worries. Right? We just ask that we clear our mind. We ask for this love energy just to clear the subconscious, conscious, and super conscious mind. Put it on the shelf right now. For this moment, you're grounded into Mother Earth, and she is all nurturing and healing and love, and she gives you everything you need. And then we just ask that we open our hearts so that we can receive right now, receive the messages, receive abundance, receive this moment. And we are all one. We are all together in this moment. I feel you guys. I feel you. Yeah, Liliana, definitely, girl. We needed it too. That's why we're here. We all needed this moment to come together and to really be with one another. And the new moon was in Pisces, so everything was very much amplified. And so the new moon was pulling, and you kind of had to write it out, and you kind of had to sit with it and just be like, oh my God. There was moments where I was kind of in the fetal position this week. I'm not gonna lie. I'm, in this relationship, I'm the divine masculine, so I go head first into the energies before Dov, and so I can always see what's coming. And so I go in the pain and the all this, and I'm just like looking at Dov, and I'm like, baby, there's something there right now. Just get ready for it. So, but it's starting to. We're moving through it. We're definitely moving through that. So
Yeah, so, Nicole said a lot of good things, and thinking about the energies right now, it's not just our astrology, right? It's an actual consciousness shift. And that consciousness shift is a shift that we've been asking for, right? That awakening and the awareness and the love that's been coming, it's being created from you. Right? And it's why it's so important. It's why we're talking about unconditional love today. It's so important that we go into that love, and anything that isn't that love, it is coming up, as Nicole was saying. And it's not just in your three-dimensional sort of superficial world of, yeah, my bills are not organized or this is not organized. It's also whatever is going on inside of you, even if it's something little that you think you can avoid, something little that you didn't say or you didn't experience. And everyone is in the same place right now, which is also really important to see, right? And if you guys are experiencing this, you can just put a 1 or a heart right in the comments, right? And so it's because just to see how we're all going through this. And if you're watching this in the replay, same thing. You can still put a 1 or a heart and see all the other people that are going through this, because we are going to experience it collectively. And why are you so important, right? Because you're not just important for yourself, you're so important for the collective. Because as things and as you shift, the world, our vision shifts, right? A lot of people in the healing community are talking about things that we're not going to get into too much today, but talking into really about global shifting, really global shifting in our reality, in our world, in our energy. And the thing is that, and my doggie is playing, so I'm trying to move her. The thing is that that shifting is happening and is precipitated by the possibility of you. You are creating that ability. So it is really, really important right now for us to be able to, do whatever we can to excavate those things that are keeping us from being in that space, being in that energy, right? And so it's like if you're looking around and right now it feels like all the stuff is bubbling to the surface. Hey, and I see all of your hearts, so I know you're in the same place, right? I know you guys are in the same place. If you are feeling all of these things coming up, they really are asking for our attention, right? They are asking for our attention. They're also asking for our unconditional love to ourselves, right? And so we can't show up. We talk about this a lot. We can't show up. We can't show up in that frequency to other people if we are not showing up that way for ourselves. It's not possible. So if you find yourself being really, really hard on other people, know that you're doing it for yourself. If you find yourself being hard on other people, know you can't give that unconditional love to yourself. It's all reciprocal. It's all connected. It's all interchanged, right? And it's a very important time for us to understand that it's no longer optional.
It's not.
Okay, so there's things in life that are optional. And then there are things in life that are becoming requirements. And right now it's a requirement, right? Otherwise, what happens? We get dragged along. We get ripped apart if we don't allow ourselves. And we all do it, right? We all pump the brakes. At some point or another, we are going to pump the brakes, and we are not going to want to allow ourselves to let go and surrender into it. But it only makes it harder for us. Right? It only makes it harder for us.
So I wanted to talk about a couple things right now, how important it is, and my dog's gonna drop it. She's getting wild right now. She's frisky, right? We have the resistance, right? She's like, we're gonna shut this show down. She's like, this is the Sophia sermon, baby. She's so cute. We love you. We love you. You're hard sometimes when we're trying to work, but we still love you. Acceptance, right? This is a time for you to accept, and not just, listen, it's really easy to accept yourself when everything's going great. You're just like, I'm Gucci, everything's good. And then all of a sudden when we go through these really deep looks, these deep dives into our shadows, into the stuff that's not really aligned, we start to go, ooh, and then we start to judge ourselves, right? So there was some people today actually leaving comments in one of our private groups, and they were talking about fraud syndrome, right? Because all our stuff starts to come up and we start to look at it and we're like judging ourselves so much. We're like, who am I to share this message? Who am I to serve? It's like, you have to accept those part of you, because it doesn't matter where you are in your walk right now. I don't care if your life looks a mess. It does not matter. You still can serve. You're still loved, baby. You're still it. You are still loved by this whole universe, no matter what you do or do not do, right? You are loved. And so every little word and every little thing that you go through and everything that you say, it has meaning, and it's needed.
Yes.
Right? Because there's some people that are not attracted to Dov and I, and are not going to be listening to this right now. But they are to you. They're going to be like feeling your vibe. They're going to want to hear it from you, right? And so it's like we all have a responsibility to share with the world and to help people continuously wake up to the truth that they can really honor all of themselves. Really honor all of themselves. So acceptance of yourself. And here's the dealio. When you really truly accept yourself, it is so much easier not to judge other people and accept them. Right? And so with that, with acceptance comes, can you forgive yourself today for all of it? Like all of it. All of it! All of it. Recently, there was so many things that happened in my life recently where if I would have made just a little alteration and put focus to something like really bad wouldn't have happened. But I started to see all these choices I didn't make, and all of a sudden I started judging myself. And I was like, look at you. If you were just bigger, better, stronger, you'd be able to do this. And I started to, I was being hard and and then I realized that in my life, there was figures in my life that taught me that. Right? They were hard on themselves. They were hard on me. I was hard on me. And I start loving myself more. And then all of a sudden we go into this deep place when I was a child or whatever in your life. And all of a sudden that voice comes back up, that imprint of a time where you learn that and you had that within you. And it starts to come out. And I was yelling and I'm like, this isn't me. This is something that's within me that's got to go now, that I have to look at, right? And so this deep cleaning's happening. So forgiving yourself. Now the thing about I always talk about forgiving oneself, and that sometimes it's just, you just can't do it at that moment. You're not ready, right? There's people in your life that have hurt you that I promise if I asked you, if you wrote on a piece of paper, all the people that hurt you, you'd be able to make a list of I can forgive these people right now. And then there's going to be a list where you tell me, hell no, I'm not doing it. Not going to do it, right? And so that side and that part of you or part of what you're feeling is just asking for the willingness, right? We have not because we ask not. As soon as we ask, the willingness will come. We ask for peace, it'll come. And so really asking right now, if there's parts of your life that you can't forgive yourself for, if there's things that have been done to you that you cannot forgive, ask for I'm actually going to call in just the willingness to forgive. Because one of the most special things about unconditional love is being able to forgive. That compassion, right? That energy of being able to, and I'm talking about not just easy forgiving. I'm talking about the hardest of forgiving. If you can do that, what you'll be able to master, what you'll be able to the amount of peace, the amount of peace within yourself, the amount of peace when you leave your home, people aren't going to agitate you as much, right? So yeah.
And thinking about it, a couple things that when Nicole was talking that I was thinking about. One is, she talked before about showing up, right? And letting yourself be of service. And I heard some of you in my head go, but I don't want to do what you do. I don't want to be of service in that way. You don't have to.
Nope.
Right? So the thing is that I want to caveat what she said and just say, just being it in your life. Just being it becomes contagious. You don't have to make a video. You don't need to, speak to people. You don't need to serve in that way. That is not what you have to do. But allowing yourself to be that, it becomes contagious and possible for other people, right? And so I wanted to caveat that for some of you who are like, oh my God, but this is not how I'm going to do it. You're serving internally by creating the shift inside yourself. The other thing I wanted to say to you is when Nicole was talking about this unconditional love and forgiveness, she was talking about forgiveness, but for me, it relates back to unconditional love. We cannot experience unconditional love in a conditional world without conditions. We need to experience, what does it mean, right? We need to experience a trauma or a reason not to align with somebody or all these things to come into the energy of unconditional, right? And the thing is that we're being asked to understand that we're not so separate, right? And so when you think about, I can't forgive that person, there's no way I can't forgive that person, that thing, that outside of me, we don't realize that it's not as outside of us as we think. And again, coming back to this idea of you're not forgiving you, right? And if you want someone's forgiveness, have you forgiven yourself for what you think happened? Because they can't forgive you. You can't even create that opportunity for them to forgive you without you opening that door for yourself and understanding, I'm going to give myself that unconditional love. I can forgive myself. Then you create the door, the opportunity for somebody to show up in that way for you, right? So really letting yourself sit and meditate with what that means, and don't expect it to be instantaneous. It's going to be layers. So as the stuff comes up for you, as the trauma, the trigger, the frustration right now, please, what I implore you guys to do, because of how important this time is, it's no longer negotiable. Can you just sit, look at it, talk about it? Today, Nicole and I went for a walk. We walked for 3 hours, right? We just walked to allow ourselves to just walk and move, because it's such a time of purging. And as we walked, we allowed things to come out and to speak, right? And to communicate and to find ways to allow it to come out. And what happened is it brought clarity. Because when Nicole and I work, right, and you can do this, you can take this, you can take your best friend, you can take, somebody, when Nicole and I work, what we do with people is we help them find the root, right? And what we did is we naturally allowed the root to be exposed as we talked and walked and talked and walked and talked and walked, right? And we moved our energy, and we allowed ourselves to release these things so we could start to see. And then when you put truth to something, it calms down. Right? You can be feeling internally like everything is a disaster. The irritation is boiling up and you feel like you can't tolerate what's happening. It's because your higher self saying something isn't right. It's not right. It's not right.
Yep.
And so when you put truth to it, because what it wants is your attention, when you look at it, when you say, I see, okay, that's what's going on. In that moment that you bring truth to it, the peace can come back. There's no space for the peace in that clutter. There's no space for the truth if we are not listening and we're running around and we're plugging our ears and we're diverting ourselves, and the anxiety is getting worse and the breakdown in our body is getting worse and we're getting sick and we can't focus and we can't connect and all of that, right? Because we're not willing to look at what's happening. So I invite you, look at it.
Yep. Don't
run away from it. Walk if you want. Do what Nicole and I did, right? And just allow yourself to experience that and to just let it come out and treat it like a time. When Nicole talked about purging, treat it like a time of purging. Again, remember, we collectively are in such an important time, and we've been asking ourselves to be in this place. We've been wanting to be in this evolution of our world and our consciousness. And understand that whatever can't follow you there has to be revealed. We talk about that all the time. Has to move.
So I'm feeling it's like everyone's like, what? But it's so hard. It's so hard at times to be unconditional. It's so hard. Of course it's hard. We're living in a world that's based on conditions, right? It's like, oh my God, if somebody's toxic, push them out of your life. I'm not talking about abusive relationships. I'm just simply talking about, certain people. It's like, those people don't deserve my love because they didn't give me shit. And this person, I don't deserve it because I didn't do a good job today. And we have all these conditions that are laid out. We're in a world of conditions. And so if you can imagine, we're trying to trade it out, but the problem is when something's about to die, it resists and will freaking fight back with a vengeance. So understand that within you, you are going to resist the unconditional love. And also you're going to, then in the outside of you, right? So as within is so without, right? Everything that's going on the inside is going to happen on the outside. It happens at the same time. You're also going to have other people that are going to resist. Right, but that means that we have to be consistent in love. Listen, I get triggered at least once a day, where I want to get angry. If you ever lived in Florida, you will understand what I'm about to tell you about the drivers in Florida. I could be praying and meditating and leave, and I'm just like, oh. And I'm like, I leave and I'm skipping to the car. I get in the car, I'm in the car for a minute, and I am ready to fight. Right? We're human. We're human. Now, knowing that, right, we have the option to get in the car and go, you know what? I know what I'm about to get myself into. Just let go. We like to fight. I was just talking about there's going to be resistance to it all, right? So I want to do actually just a little bit of clearing around the resistance, right? We have parts of us that want to protect us. We have parts of us that are going to try to sabotage. We have parts of us that are just going to fight. Your inner child's going to fight sometimes, right? When your inner child doesn't feel at peace and it doesn't understand, it's going through this transformation, that little kid inside of you, the kid that maybe, was neglected, the little kid that was abused, the kid is just going to start to get uncomfortable and want to run the show. And so I'm just going to ask that the inner saboteur, our inner child, our inner protector, that it step aside for this moment so that we could be with ourselves, our true nature, our true power. We're these huge light beings from all over the universe. We're here right now on Earth because we chose to be here. We chose this specific time for a reason, because we are ushering in this pure energy. We're holding it down. We're grounding all of it, right? Yesterday, Dov and I went for a walk, and we left, and I was having a really hard morning. And all of a sudden, this guy was painting. He was painting his place of work, and I looked at him. And I was like, "Dude, you're doing a good job!" And he started to smile, and he just lit up, and he was like, "Thank you," right? And so Dov looked at me. She's like, "Let's just walk around and be nice to people and make people happy." And I was like, all right, and that's what we did, right? That's all we did. So when she was talking about earlier about service, it's like, you are it. Wherever you go, it doesn't matter where you do it. Actually, to be honest with you, if that could be your life, that your lifestyle, right? It doesn't have to be just your work. It just be a way of life, right? Then everything changes, right? Because it's your life. And you deserve to have this interaction with other people when we serve. Oh my God, the interaction, right? Like sometimes I give and people are just like, thank you. And I'm like, you have no idea what you just gave me. Just that you even open your heart to hear me.
Yes.
It fills my soul so much. It makes me so happy. Sometimes I get really tired and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I think oh my God, I would die without you guys. I would die without my work. It would crush me because there's so much love there. And there's so much of that from back and forth. And oh my God, I love you guys so, so much. Yeah,
I'm really glad to be here with you guys. And, I feel complete with what we shared today. I just want to remind you guys that today was a little bit unorthodox because we wanted to introduce this to you guys. But every Sunday at 11 Eastern Standard, we're going to meet here live. Bring everybody, share it, do whatever you need to do. Bring your energy. We have a lot of topics we want to go over. There'll be one topic, that we really dive into every single Sunday, and start to have this be the space that creates that energy and holds that energy and houses that energy for all of us and for the process that we're all going through, and grounding it within you and allowing you to connect to your higher self and allowing you to connect to each other and allowing us to connect and really see how we're not in that space of separateness. So we really hope that this was, good for you guys and that this will really kind of alleviate or at least make you know and feel, right? As I said before, if you're watching this later, you can do a
freedom.
Heart,
yes,
a heart or a one.
We love you, Sandra. I just want to say you guys are.
Yeah.
Oh, we love you, Amanda. Oh, I love that freedom. So, yeah, we love you, Lindsay.
Even just to feel that we're doing this together and that we are all doing this together, we're so very, very excited. We both have always wanted to do this very much, and we have a lot of platforms that we will be doing this, but this felt really important and very pressing for us to be here with you guys now. So we will be doing it every week. And
next Sunday, we're going to announce something else we're doing on a different platform that I think is going to be really dope, and we're really excited to do. So I will definitely share that with all of you ASAP. We're so excited to share this time with you. I love being on camera. No, I love interacting with you guys in this way. It's everything for me. It's like what I was born to do. It's what Dov was born to do. So we just, when you do what you love, when you really do what you love and love what you do, it's like everything is aligned. It's perfect. It's perfect, right? So we love you guys so, so much.
Bye, guys. Bye.